It's alive.
It's alive.
You got it.
Go, Emilio, go! Honda rolls for the first time. Brent and Kyle tuned. If Kyle's pushing, is it K swap?
No, it's B swap too.
4 to 3.5.
It doesn't look like it should hit too bad. I think it should be okay. But also we don't have this tightened up yet. So we got Honda pushed over to PFI. Right now we're borrowing Shane's bay. We'll get to that in a minute why we're not on our side. But we actually went ahead and got our new drive shaft put back in this thing. If you guys remember, we got this made for it a while back. And this is a completely aluminum drive shaft. And we just wanted to put it up in there, make sure everything fit, because this one is a little bigger than the factory size one. Looks like everything is fitting pretty good though. So our drive shaft is back in the car. And Honda's 4-wheel drive again. Right now it only has 2 bolts on the back diff, but like I said, just for mock-up, we'll get that fully bolted up here soon. And the reason why we have it over on PFI side is because we're gonna have Sean take a look at it real quick and maybe see what he can come up with later on, because in the future we want to redo this tranny mount right here and also this K-member where the steering rack is. We're gonna redo all that stuff, maybe make like a custom tubular one. And I know Emilio was talking about putting like a Ford Pinto rack on this thing, and get rid of the power steering rack that came factory with this, get a manual Ford Pinto rack, because I guess that's what some other guys with STIs have done in the past.
I feel like all this stuff right here is so heavy, we don't even need most of it. So
yeah, it'll cut some weight.
Yeah, so if we can get like a custom subframe and then like build, you know, the front mount, do the motor mount with it too, so it'll be like a whole subframe instead of like a 2-piece thing. We can do that, and then yeah, maybe we could probably even lower the motor just a little bit more.
Yeah, I might be able to reposition it a little bit. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, just some thoughts. Obviously we're gonna have to run it like this for a little bit because we're kind of on a deadline. We're probably gonna run it like this for a little bit, just on like 600 horsepower. We also are probably gonna leave it on the stock fuel system just for right now, because right now we're gonna try to see if we can get this thing to Cletus in cars, which is the 13th. So we don't have too much time. We only have about a week, so that's our goal at least. But yeah, just some things to look at. So we're gonna have Sean come over here in a bit and see what he's thinking. Also, if you guys remember, the way we did the steering rack is like kind of sketchy. It's not perfect. We actually lowered this down a little bit, and then we put these steel strips above it and then clamped it to those steel strips. So now the steering rack doesn't sit up and tight in there like it's supposed to, and that kind of sketches Emilio out.
Yeah, and
it is tight, but it could be better.
You can see where I marked it right here, and this was a while ago, and I did that because one of these did come loose.
Oh yeah, you marked it right there to make sure it's not backing out.
But yeah, I mean, it's been marked like this for a while now, and it didn't move, so I just feel better if we, you know, redid this whole little setup.
Yeah, I mean, we drove it to Nebraska and back like that.
That's
and
actually when
you've taken it down the track several times, so we know it works like this, but it can be better.
A lot more power now, and just want to be safer, you know.
Yeah,
if we can do it. Let's just, you know, we can do it.
Yeah, might as well upgrade things where we can. Another thing we need to do on Honda is get some more spacers for this back tranny mount, and then also for this right up here. We did have 4 of them back here, but we have seemed to misplace them.
So yeah, we had 4 here. It was 1.25 inches like the front was, but once we added this solid mount, it doesn't have any give anymore. So like, we just have to get different, like smaller spacers. Because before, like, we didn't even have spacers up here, and as you can see, it doesn't even come close to it because the solid mount is not letting it move. So
yeah, before we were able to run no spacer there with spacers in the back, but
because there was so much give, but now we got the solid mount from IAG.
Yeah, when Keith came down and hooked us up with that.
So that's what changed there. But I think with like 1 inch in the front right here, maybe like a 1/2 inch in the back, I think it'll work perfect.
Yep. So we do need to redo our spacers as well. I think we're just gonna go and pick up some like aluminum stock, like solid aluminum tubing, and just make our own, drill some holes through it, cut them exactly where we need them. So we'll have to go get some of that stuff, but we're getting there. Honda's coming together.
Yeah, well, if we went with the Pinto rack, I mean, I would just move the rack forward, the center line of it, like 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Because look, I mean, you're actually got forward face on that, so I mean your Ackerman's already not 100% straight. So I mean, but moving that forward would get it in front of the flywheel, which then would allow the nose of it to drop an astronomical amount. That's compared to where it is.
Yeah, that's what's stopping us from getting under the hood right now.
Yeah, because that rear diff and all that, I mean, you can't go backwards with it to get clearance. No. You really would have to go forward. And in reality too, I mean, this would go away right here.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want it to go forward.
I mean, are you trying to do road racing or anything like that, or mostly just track?
No, just straight.
Okay, so then we don't need sway bars then either. Sway bars are just to help you in cornering.
Yeah.
Just to keep the inner wheel more planted.
Yeah, we already talked about getting rid of the sway bar.
Because then your steering rack will be in between the flywheel and the oil pan.
Yeah, that would be perfect. That's where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Then you don't think it'd be too tough to like do a tubular one of those in the future?
Yeah. It's simple as heck. You got flat areas up here for mounting point, and I mean the rear.
And then you just have to tie this one. Yeah, that's it.
That's super easy.
Just this A-arm, you don't have to touch that, right?
Yep. And they're not using, all it is left to right. It don't have any forward or cross bracing for diagonal Xing or anything like that. So it really is just a big heavy piece of hunk of junk. No, I'd go to these bolt holes here. I'd put plates with like 90 brackets like that, and then run a bar straight across the back side of this with a flat plate off of that for those to tag into, and it'd be straight, boom, done.
And then since that mount's solid, it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
See, that's what we need you for, bro.
And then this goes bye-bye, this goes bye-bye, and it's just a single one there.
Cutting weight, making it simple.
There, yeah.
Cutting weight and making it better.
Sweet.
Thanks for looking at it.
No problem.
Yep. We're just going to have to leave it like that for now, though, but
yeah, we're
getting ideas.
Yep, now you got a video for notes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Go home and watch it later and start writing on a piece of paper and build yourself a checklist.
That's one thing I definitely want to get done though, like get all this redone and make it nice. And
so you guys both need to go get yourselves a couple whiteboards and things, but like Hondaroo to-do list.
Yeah, we should.
Wago van to-do list.
That's how he does everything.
Yeah.
To-do list.
Sean's organized, we're not.
Yeah, he's super organized.
Keeps you more efficient, keeps you working faster.
Yep, for sure.
All right, we just got Hondaroo pushed back over to our side. Sean just got done taking a look at it while it was up on the lift, and he definitely gave us some ideas on how we can redo that K-member down there and also the rear transmission mount, because obviously this thing is not designed from factory to take a Honda K-Series motor, so it's definitely something to think about in the future. It might help to redesign a lot of that, might make the car safer. We can redo that steering rack and maybe get the motor even a little bit lower. So we were just thinking ahead. Once this thing starts making more power, that's just some stuff we wanted to think about later on, just getting ideas. But we do have her back on our side, and we are going to be continuing some more on the roll cage now that we have the new welders in. We just got to get those things set up, and we can get back to work on getting the roll cage done for this thing. Emilio actually already got out of here. It's starting to get pretty late, but I'm going to be hanging out here for a bit because obviously you guys saw the title of this video, and we have a very special delivery coming in a couple hours. I'm really excited about this, so I'm gonna be hanging out at the shop until it comes. Brett and all them are still here. They're working hard on the coal truck right now, and since I have some extra time, figured this would be a perfect opportunity to get some more done on the bottom end for the MR2. I went ahead and I brake cleaned off the block completely in the main girdle. I actually took an air blower and I blew out all of my ports and stuff like that because I don't know how long this block has been sitting. So I tried to get any dust out of there, possibly any metal shavings from when they machined the sleeves. So completely clean this thing out. I still have the main studs in there ready to go, and I have all of my main bearings in the block ready to go. I went ahead and I pulled off all of these 12mm bolts out of the motor that blew up in Wago because I was missing those. All these guys go around the main girdle right here. So I got all my 12mm bolts right here. I have my nuts that go onto the main studs. We now have the thrust washers so that I can get the crank in there and torque down. We got some gasket maker because I need to put gasket maker along the outside of the block right here. That seals up the block with the main girdle so we don't have any oil leaks. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this, lube up the bearings, drop the crank in there, gasket maker, clamp it down, and then the crank will be in place, and then from there I can go ahead and start clamping my rods onto the crank because I still need to check my rod bearing clearances. Then obviously from there we'll get this bottom end completely assembled, and I'll just see how far I get for tonight because I have nothing else to do while we wait for this special delivery to get here. All right, the crankshaft is in, got everything torqued down. These ARP mains call for 65 foot-pounds, and then these 12 millimeters everywhere else torque at 16 foot-pounds. All that stuff is torqued down, ready to go. We got our gasket maker on there so it's not gonna leak. We got our thrust washers in there, didn't forget those. And if you grab the nose right here and spin it over, it spins over really nice and smooth. It feels great. The next step will be to tighten our rods to the crank and just double check the rod bearing clearances. Once those check out, we can go ahead and connect our rods to the pistons, gap our rings, put the rings onto the pistons, drop all that into our block, get everything tightened up, and then just go from there. You know, then we have to do our windage tray, oil pump, all the front timing chain stuff, get the head on, just keep going from there. But I am going to be calling it for tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a plastic bag over this and push it to the side. I already went ahead and pushed Hondaru out as well because I just got a call that our new project car is going to be here very soon. So I'm really excited for that, and it's dark out, so I figured I'll just push Hondaru out real quick so we can pull it in and you guys can take a look at what we got going on. But yeah, really excited. I'm gonna go ahead and set this to the side, and then I'm just gonna hang out with Brent for a bit until the truck gets here, and we'll show you guys what we got. Yeah, it's here. Look out the window. Look at him pulling in.
I see it. I see it. Whoa, this is kind of exciting.
Last time we saw it, 2015.
The last time you guys saw it?
Brent tuned it. It's 2015.
It has a whole story behind it.
Yeah, there's a story. There's a big story. And now it's home.
It's back here again.
Yeah. To the right guy.
4 years, dude.
Yeah,
Literally 4 years.
That's wild. This is exciting.
Yeah.
Dude, it's pulling up right now.
Yeah.
Why are we
Should we go look at it? Let's
Yeah,
go.
why are
It's
we
gonna be
here?
dark outside though.
All of its glory.
It's home. We need
Oh
to
my
jump
gosh. We already have too many
We
projects.
need a jump box
Look
and
at this thing.
air.
Yeah, those slicks are flat.
Look at this thing. She's ready.
You have your own parachute now. It made just under 1,000 4 years ago here. At this altitude.
At altitude.
At this altitude. It
Well,
made just
he's-
under 1,000 4
He's
years
down
ago. here.
in El Paso.
Yeah.
So that tells you he's got a lot more air to breathe.
Yep. Well, he
So-
brought it up here to tune.
Yep, you can see more of our tabs for the front engine mount side.
Yeah,
there.
like that's all stuff you guys obviously made.
Can't let you drive it off.
Oh, you have to do it?
gotta drive
He
it.
has to do it.
Oh, he has to drive.
He has to drive it off.
Dang.
You can have it right at the end of the ramp though, brother. I'm an old guy. Getting in and out of this thing's a bitch.
It's alive.
So many years later, starts right up.
We might just have to drive it to Florida.
That would be something.
Look at the hood, guys. PFI. Hold it up. E-brake. Sitting for a minute. It's all, look how dusty it is.
Look at the ancient, before 4 ports, we used twin 3 ports.
Well guys, it looks like we have ourselves a new project car. What are we looking at here, Brent? You know about this thing.
I know a little
It has
bit
some
about
history with PFI.
Yep.
She's fully built.
Yep, my fabricator at the time was Steve Sampierre, and this was his car. And yeah, he put it all together. He used the bottom end parts from my old bully, the CRX, aluminum rods, Aries pistons. I believe it's the Stroker 95mm crank. Cylinder head's all done up with all the good stuff. It makes some serious stink. Like
yeah, what did it make on your dyno when you were at the old shop?
990, something like that.
980. And Lee told me, the previous owner who I just bought this from, he told me it made like 1056.
1050s, they called me.
1056, I believe, on a dyno down in Texas.
In Texas.
She makes just
With
over
air.
1,000.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's honestly, it's like not even that complicated. It's pretty simple.
No, this is a really simple setup. Yeah, still on Honda. It's a 7AL2 ignition box.
This thing is crazy.
Stock fuel rail.
Look, you can see the old PFI sticker right here.
Yeah.
All faded away. Because this is a car you did at your shop like back in the day.
Yeah, Steve, like I said, Steve worked for the shop, and this was his project, and yeah, we all had a bunch of time in it.
Yeah, look, even on the manifold, the
It's awesome,
PFI
man.
forward-facing manifold.
That's pretty
The beauty
exciting.
ring on the hood. There.
Yeah, I showed that. It's on the top of the hood. PFI on the hood exit.
Yeah.
This thing's sweet. And yeah, it came up for sale on a Facebook page, and our buddy down in Texas, if you guys remember Nick, with that 1,000 horsepower wagon, he was actually getting ready to buy this thing, and we were talking to him a little bit, and at the end of the day, he's like, I can't get it right now, and it would be awesome if it went to you guys. I just didn't want it to go anywhere else.
Yeah, as long as it stayed in the family is what he said.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you guys right away, I paid $5 grand for this thing, and with what it comes with, we just couldn't pass that up.
Yeah, you
and
can't.
it's one of PFI's old cars.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, just the engine he's almost got twice.
yeah, what do you know what turbo that is? This thing's huge. It's a precision. I can feel right away that it's a dual ball bearing. That's not a journal.
No, it's not a
That's a
journal.
ball bearing precision, at least 69 or
What's
plus,
Kyle gonna do?
like 72 millimeter precision turbo on it.
Yeah.
I don't even know the whole, I bought this thing blind. We have Weld racing wheels on the front. This thing has a full 10-point roll cage
Oh yeah.
with all the goodies.
Yep, and like I
Turkey
said,
seat.
Steve built his own he built his own entire wiring harness, so it's all roped out. Like, I mean, it was gone through front to rear, and when he sold it, it just, I think it's gone from buyer to buyer, and it hasn't really gone and done anything. So it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
It's just sat.
A1000 pump.
Yeah.
Has the parachute on the back. The only thing wrong with this car right now, you guys just saw us drive it in. The only thing wrong with it right now is that third gear's broke.
Yep.
You guys have seen all my struggles with the hatch. These Prelude trainees just don't hold
When it
up.
broke?
Take a guess.
4 years ago on my dyno.
Which gear?
Third gear. But he came to He came to the dyno, and first pull, we were getting ready. He was going to do the half mile in Colorado Springs, and the first pull, it stripped the teeth off the gear, and that was it.
Damn. Because back then they didn't really have many like dog box options at all. There was nothing.
And that was the problem with the,
or else this would have had it.
Yeah. There was no axles available at the time, and there was no trannies available at the time. So that's why Steve kind of stalled out on it, because he had all this power and he couldn't ever use it. But now,
yep, we got
axles.
If we check out the Harry Potter closet, oh, we still got tape from when Pedro was masking stuff. Inside that bag is my dog box from when we came back from Florida. I haven't touched it since the drive back. So that's just sitting.
So now the question is,
this is okay. I'm gonna stop Jamie right there just for a second, because if you guys remember in a couple videos ago, I was like, something came out of the blue. I got some stuff for the hatch, yada yada yada. Everyone's like, oh, it's because that gray Civic on the dyno like inspired me to.
It was inspirational.
Yeah, to turn my car up and stuff, but. That's what they thought by like out of the blue, like that hatch came out of the blue, and that's what inspired me. That did inspire me to get back on my hatch, but this is what came out of the blue, out of nowhere, this opportunity to buy this thing. And my original plan was to take this setup out of this Prelude and just swap it right all over into my hatch. Right now my hatch is over on Emilio's side, but I was gonna just take everything out of this thing, put it in the hatch, turnkey 1,000 horse with my dog box and just send it. But it's like also a PFI car from back in the day, and this thing has only gone like, its best pass ever was like a low 10.
Yeah.
And that's just because, well, driver error and drivetrain. He said it never got a clean pass, and then when it does make the power, it just breaks stuff.
Yeah.
So they were always chasing issues with it. So I mean, we have newer technology now. We have our dog box. So I don't know if actually here, you want to your question?
We're trying to figure out. So I know what I want him to do, but whatever you guys want him to do. Do we take everything out and put it in the hatch and leave in 5 days, 4 days?
Yeah,
to go out of town? Or do we put a transmission in here?
My dog box in here.
Yeah, put the dog box in here and just take this and go nostalgic on it.
And see what it'll do.
See what it'll do.
See what it does.
All these years later, don't change anything but the tranny.
Yeah, and we have a good driver.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kyle can drive, so put the tranny in it.
Yeah.
See what it'll do with the tranny. Or spend 4 days taking everything out and putting it in that car.
And see, the only issue, I'd be really down to take all this stuff and put it into the hatch for Cletus and cars for that event, but we're going to be really busy with Honda. Emilio needs my help with the cage and some new fab work on the intercooler pipes and stuff like that, so I'm not going to really have the time to put all this in my hatch.
It's gonna go down no matter what. Like,
yeah, like it's going to go in the hatch at some point, as long as we don't blow it up. I mean, even if it does, I don't really care. It's just, this thing's sick. But for time's sake, it would be much faster, just take an hour or two and just put my dog box in it real quick and it's ready to go.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of leaving it up to you guys. Yeah, we'll just go over the car. This thing has been sitting for years. You can see how dirty it is. The hood's cracking. We need a new hood.
We don't talk about that.
But yeah, this is just a cool car. So
it is cool.
I want to leave it up to you guys. And I think Brent would like to see it go down the track and make a pass.
I'd like to see something.
And maybe the previous owner, Steve, would be like, man, it finally made a nice pass.
Yep.
After all these years.
He's going to be stoked.
On the same stuff.
Yeah, on what he built. He did a really good job. I mean, he put a lot of time in it.
Yeah, this thing is sick. So I did not plan on this happening, but we just couldn't pass up the deal. Like $5 grand is, the turbo is worth like an easy grand. Easy.
Or more,
or more. Like easy grand in the turbo. Has a Honda S300, fully built aluminum rod H motor, headwork, full 10-point roll cage, twin, or I thought it was a triple. It's either a twin or triple disc clutch, water to air box, doesn't have an air to air intercooler. Like this thing has all goodies. These are Weld racing wheels. I already said that.
Just even the 10-point chassis. I mean, that cage work in this thing is
has the parachute, fuel cell, the fuel system. There's so much good stuff in this car that we just couldn't pass it up.
Great buy. Just a great buy.
Yeah, this thing is badass. So, like I said, what do you guys think we should do with this thing? I'm thinking at this point it would be easiest for me just to put the tranny in this and we load up and go. Because I know that's what Jamie wants. And, I mean, I don't know if it's possible. I know it's possible, but the world record Honda Prelude right now is a 933 at 160. And that was actually the clip I showed you guys when I got my other tranny. Yeah, from Roger.
So
I have
the same tranny.
Yeah. Oh, what if I put that tranny in this? The Sainz gearbox. That I want to get that back together for the minivan. But I literally have the transmission out of the world's fastest Prelude in my garage taken apart right now.
Right.
But this thing makes enough power to get really close to that if it made a good pass.
It does, and we could turn it up.
I mean, if this did that, we could very well have the world's fastest Honda Prelude sitting right here if it got a clean pass.
That'd be cool.
So maybe we could
Bring
take
it
that
back.
title. Who knows?
Yeah.
We could do all kinds of things with this. And then we were thinking later on, even after we run it, and if everything holds up, we still want to put all this stuff into my hatch. And then I was thinking about taking the setup that's in my hatch and throw it in this, clean everything up, freshen it up, you know, make a solid 600-700 horsepower. And then this can just be like our play around car. We're gonna like take it to the track. I can let anyone who wants to drive it. We can
learn.
see who's the best driver out of all of us, like do little videos with it. If someone visits the shop and they've never driven a turbo Honda, you're like, here, take the Prelude. Like, we got so many things we could do with this.
So many.
But
And it's here.
yep,
It's wicked.
it's awesome.
Wicked cool, man.
Well, now we gotta put it on the dyno.
I know.
I'm gonna title this video, we bought a 1,000 horsepower Prelude, so we gotta prove that it makes 1,000 horsepower.
We gotta do it. We gotta show it up. She's home.
I mean, you're ready? Do you got any appointments tomorrow?
I don't have any appointments. Yeah, cold truck.
The coal truck, and I mean, it doesn't have third. Yep, that'll work. I'll work on the truck for you. It doesn't have third gear, but it has fourth. And that's all. And that's the gear you use.
Yeah, it's good enough.
But there she is, guys. Our newest project car that we already have too many of. It's sick though. I'm excited. This thing, it looks mean. Just like look at it from right here.
Man.
I love the turbo just hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the turbo out the
Sticking
front.
out.
And like these back wheels, like that's all like ancient stuff. That's just Fox body Mustang wheels.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't anything else available
Yeah,
for Hondas
no.
back then for skinnies. So it's just 4-lug Mustang.
This thing's sweet. Shut the pump off. I want to show the startup process on this thing. It took me a minute, but I figured it out on my own while you guys were over there. So like you got to turn the key. Oh, wait. Start from the very beginning. We even have we got a cutoff switch on the back, you know, because full on race car. Oh, nice. He has a flex fuel badge. We go back here. Go on, because race car. And then you have to turn the key on, and then
He's on.
you got to hit the fuel pump switch, and then the starter, and then you have to hit this switch too. That's like some ignition switch, and then it's a push to start button. Yeah, it is missing a catch can. There's a Powerade bottle.
Yeah, there's another one down here.
Another Powerade bottle right there, and then a Gatorade bottle down there. I like how it has all those because that's how I do it.
Style.
My hatch has a Gatorade bottle.
We were in Vegas when we had to do this one. We lost it on his pass.
How many years ago was that?
I don't know.
Because you said you have the catch can somewhere, right?
I know the catch can's around somewhere. I've seen it.
So we got to find that.
It went right here and has a little filter off there.
But it's getting pretty late. We were waiting for this thing to show up, and they stayed up working on the coal truck, getting it running. So I think we're getting ready to head out. So let me know what you guys think we should do with this thing. Should we put the dog box in it and just take this to Cletus and Cars and race it? Or should we, I mean, I think that's what we're gonna have to do, because if everyone says put it in the hatch, this is gonna be so much work right now.
So much.
I think that's what we are gonna have to do. I'll still take advice from you guys, but as long as it holds up over the event, I still do plan on swapping all this stuff over into the hatch, and then the hatch will just be badass. So
Yeah.
that's the plan. We got it. Kind of out of the blue, like I said. So, but here she is, our new car. So
Sounds good.
yeah, it sounds pretty healthy. So I'm excited. We got to clean this thing up, but we'll have more to come on this in the next few days. But it's gonna be it for tonight, guys. As always, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.